Tri-Shard Ardent deck. This Tri-Shard Ardent deck, a variation of this Tri-Shard Ardent deck finished in, what's the record I'm thinking of? It finished with a record of 5-2 in the Hex 1K last weekend, so I'm interested in giving it a try here. Like, the most expensive card in Hex's standard format is like $10. Anywho, so this deck is kind of an aggressive deck that aims to leverage the Valor mechanic inside of Hex. So if you weren't here earlier when I was talking about one of the things, Hex uses the digital design space really in a lot of really elegant ways to reduce variance. Games like this tend to have. Because there's resources in the deck like in Magic, because Hex is all digital, they can generate opening hands where you just mulligan less based on the resources that you have. So Hex basically just doesn't generate hands that don't have lands or have all lands based on the portion of your deck. If you play too few lands or too many resources, you can still get no landers, but basically they remove the 10% most resource light hands and 5% most resource dense hands, and those just don't get generated. Epic's interesting. Epic isn't no variance. Epic is definitely low variance. But again, Epic loses one of the interesting parts of games like Hex and Magic, where you have resources in the deck does add an interesting gameplay aspect to the game. So, one of the things you'll see here is, unlike in Magic, even though I'm playing resources out, I don't have to fumble around with tapping lands. Whenever I play a resource, it makes a color, which is called a threshold down here for me, and then it adds a total resources available here. And then this card, for instance, it basically asks the question, do you have 2 resources to play this, and have you played a diamond, and have you played a ruby out? I'm going to go ahead and get my third color here, choose a wild. So now I've played 3 resources, and I've played 1 ruby, 1 diamond, 1 wild. I'm going to go ahead and play this Howling Plains Alpha, and when I play a card here, this card generates a Valor power-up for me. You'll see here when I play my card, it goes on this line in the center, which is called the chain, and the chain gives my opponent a chance to respond to the cards that I'm playing. So there's quick actions in Hex, so there's a priority-based system where you go back and forth. You can see here, I went to put this Valor power-up on my Intrepid Conjurer, and my Intrepid Conjurer says when it gets this Valor power-up, it creates a copy of itself. So my opponent's responding to that with a Transmogrifade to turn this into something else. They turned it into an artifact, so it's no longer a troop that can attack. I think I'm going to hold this Wartorn General back because it's only a 1/1. My opponent's deck often plays a 3/2 troop that's quick. So if I attack with this, my opponent's going to be able to flash in that quick troop and eat my 1/1 inside of combat if they have it. So I don't want to give them a chance to do that. Trial of Totem. So this conscripts a troop that costs 4 and gives it +2/+2. So they're going to generate a random troop and then give it a power-up. So Hex is a full buy, sell, trade secondary market, so unlike a lot of the digital card games that exist, you don't have to fumble around with trying to acquire cards by like buying booster packs and dusting cards and crafting cards. You can just go to a website, hexprimal.com is actually a sponsor for the stream, and just fill a shopping cart on there and hit the checkout button. I'm going to play Starcaller Ancient. This is a card that's a 2/2 that says whenever you draw a prophesized card, it creates a copy of that card. How about selling back? You can sell back to other players, or the stores also have buy lists, just like Magic stores have buy lists. The buy list in Hex being completely upfront, the buy list price on cards in Hex is often closer to paper Magic as opposed to the higher amount that you tend to get on Magic Online. So a lot of the buy list for chase cards is somewhere between 50 to 60%, and the buy list for average cards is somewhere between 40 and 50%, depending on how much demand there is for that card at a particular point. This card also gets bigger for every Valorous troop I control. So you can see here, I drew another one of these guys that copies himself when we Valor it. So we made a couple copies of him there. And then I'm going to go ahead and attack my 3/3 and my 2/2 in here, I think. My opponent has the 3/2 that's quick. I'm fine if they want to trade that with either of these two now. I didn't want them to eat my guy for free, but trading inside of combat is fine. Attacking and blocking works identical to Magic. I declare attackers, my opponent declares blockers. Allows you to use your health total as a resource if you're playing a more controlling deck. What is your hero power? That's a good question. So I don't think I mentioned that yet. So you can see here my opponent and I have different portraits. And these portraits are not just cosmetic. So one of the ways Hex mitigates one of the things that's frustrating in Magic, which is flooding, is every time you play a resource, you gain a charge power. You gain a charge towards your champion power. And my champion says for 4 charges, if one of my cards dealt damage to my opponent this turn, I create a Valor power up and put it into my hand, which has synergy with the other cards in my deck. My opponent's champion power, they're a more controlling deck. It takes 2 cards from their discard pile and puts them back into my opponent's deck, and then adds line of text them when you play this draw card. The champion aspect of Hex I really enjoy because it also reduces one of the annoying parts of Magic, which is if you're playing an interactive deck, you can kind of gauge what type of deck your opponent is likely to be playing based on their champion choice. So, like, I can look at my opponent and say, oh, Wintermoon's usually a more controlling deck, so that means I want to keep a hand that's better against a more controlling deck in this matchup. So this generates a Valor when it comes into play, and this generates a Valor when I play out an Ardent Troop. So this Intrepid Conjurer is going to continue going super wide here. Both my opponent's troops only have 3 defense, so I'm just going to go ahead and attack in with my essentially free 3/2s here and pressure them. I'm going to take 6 there, and then trades 1 off in combat. AA Conjurers win. I only get AA cards for cards I really like the artwork on, and I think this artwork's fine. I'm not really a huge fan of the AA Conjurer. There is not a, let me tell you about a board state. Let me tell you about a board state. Where's my media pictures on Twitter? I tweeted out this picture yesterday. Let me show you a hex board state, shall we? This guy right here. There's not any cap on the number of things. So Hex does not have a mobile client, and part of the reason why they're not on mobile is because working with large boards is a nightmare. So yeah, so just like creating all of these extra things are actually just pure value. I'm not going to get like priced out at any point because like I put a bunch of weaker troops into play. So Guidance uses the Fate Weave mechanic in Hex, so I've been missing my resource for a little while because I've kind of had better things to do, but this time I'm going to go ahead and play this Guidance. So what Guidance does is it allows me to Fate Weave and then draw a card. So what Fate Weave does is it's a digital-only mechanic that I choose between resource or non-resource, and I stack that type of card on top of my deck, and then Guidance immediately lets me draw a card. So I chose a resource, so I can make my shard drop here. I'm going to go ahead and make this a ruby. And then I'm going to go ahead and Valor this Intrepid Conjurer here. And I'm going to go ahead and smash my opponent with my 3/2s again. Fate Weave is so incredibly powerful and elegant. I love it. And now, when my opponent gets hit here, they get to go ahead and they get hit for 6. I get to go ahead and activate my champion power to make another Valor here. And then I'm going to go ahead and play this Valor on my Intrepid Conjurer. Gensic17, what do you suggest for a new player with $20 in platinum? Wait for rotation? ? Actually, I have a how to hex or a budget hex decks here, and did I miss lethal? Was it just lethal on board? Because I was so busy getting value and talking about Fate Weave. I fully believe that I missed lethal. The reserves of this deck are rancid right now. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to put in the reserves, so I just got a bunch of random jank in here. I don't think any of this random jank is very good in this matchup. I think just like our proactive game 1 plan is great, so I'm just going to click submit here. So Hex's ladder is best of 3 with a 15 card reserve, so you get to again kind of lower that variance that you have in those best of 1 card games where like you get to take your best shot at doing a best of 3 game. Yeah, I actually think the Furiko deck I listed in my budget decks is actually pretty reasonable. There's nothing rotating in the budget list, right? The only cards rotating in that budget list are Lanupaw's Sight, and those are pennies. This is a redraw here, so I have Guidance, but this requires Diamond, and the one resource that I have only makes Ruby or Wild, so I'm going to go ahead and replace this. Yeah, this stands pretty reasonable, right? I get to go Diamond on 1 into Ruby on 2 and play my Ashwood Firebrand, And then we could probably play Ardent Crusader down the line. So we will need a third resource at some point. We've got 2 more draws here. We could hit Guidance or something like that, too, to help propel us into a third. This deck's also playing 23 shards, so non-zero chance that we just, like, hit it naturally. I mean, the well duels are about price for what you expect a rare resource fixing to be in a standard format. Jen, if you look at like Magic historically, like $5 to $10 for like the premium dual lands is basically about what you expect them to be. And the dual lands, the wells aren't rotating, so like that isn't something you should avoid because they're rotating. The racial fixing is rotating because they're from set 3, set 4. So like those are a little bit expensive and they're rotating. So if you want to dodge cards that are rotating with standard when set 8 releases, like avoiding racial shards is fine. I am going to be streaming the new draft format. I wasn't expecting to hit Cosmic and Limited this season, but with this new draft format, we are 10 out of 10. We're probably going to stream my path to all 6 animated sleeves. Charter Guidance, please. Tilt. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and Valor this guy, and then I can attack with this. When this attacks, it gives all Valorous troops Swift Strike. They have a Transmogrifade here. And this is one of the things you can see here. There's a little interface things that make Hex so much better than Magic Online. I clicked on this, and then I accidentally clicked off it as I went down here to click this. And you can see the buttons are physically moved. In order to skip my attack step, I have to click off to the side here in a place where declaring attackers isn't. It's just these really small attentions to detail that make the interface so much more elegant. Yeah, but I mean, like, they listened to user feedback and then implemented fixes based on user feedback. That's all you can ask for. So my opponent played a card here that does have some RNG in it. It reverts and transforms a troop into a random artifact constant or troop of cost 1 less. And on average, a lot of cards that are 1 smaller are worse. But my opponent transformed my 2-drop into this 1 costing that's a 4/4 with lethal that normally has a casting drawback. But I didn't have to cast it, they just transformed into it. So I just like have this 4/4 now. So this, you can see in the corner here, this used to be my Ashwood Firebrand. It's been transformed into this card. There are some cards in Hex that reference reverting other cards, and what reverting a card does is basically change it back to the base card that it started as. So if I were to revert this, it would turn back into an Ashwood Firebrand. Someone asked earlier if I have the AA Conjurers. I do not. So kind of unfortunate to like miss the resources that we've missed so far. Another draw step here. Hopefully we hit a Guidance or a Shard, get to start playing some of these things out. Like, we're missing our 3rd threshold to play the Satyr's Roost Bard, but like at the same time we just like haven't drawn a 3rd resource, so ding, fries are done. This gives us our 2nd Ruby threshold as well. I'm gonna go ahead and attack with the Terror here. I'm going to lead on this Ardent Crusader because I would rather Ardent Crusader get interrupted or removed rather than Hero of Legend. So Ardent Crusader, you can see here, even though it's going to my bin, it's got this kind of colored gem on the side of it. Socketed cards are something that are kind of unique to Hex. This is a customizable card. During deck building and during reserving, I can change the power-ups that this card has. So this card, as long as I have a Ruby threshold, it would have Swift Strike. So if we hit 1 more resource, these Heart of Embers unlock. Heart of Embers is a really powerful synergy card in this deck. In addition to being a 3/4 and making a Valor power-up when it comes into play, whenever you play a Valor power-up, this begins to deal 3 damage to something. So just applies a lot of damage, acts as pseudo removal for us, and reach. There is not an AA Ardent Crusader, which is sad. Actually, what I do want, I need to get 2 more Moonrise Elder A's. I only get the AAs if I like really like the alternate artwork, and this card is just beautiful. I love the colors on it compared to the regular one. It's really well done. They're probably not going to attack. The 2/7 gets bounced here, so. Guidance. Show me a shard, Gizmit. Ding. I'm going to go ahead and just keep attacking in my 4/4 lethal. Wonder if I'm supposed to attack with both of these in case they have another Transmog here. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to attack with both of these. If they have another Transmog, they could Okay, so they Runebound this. So Runebind kind of delays a card in a way. It turns it into this constant over here off to the side. And then the next time I draw a resource, this reverts itself and replays it. So I actually kind of punted here. That guidance that I used to get a resource with, I should have attacked first, because then when my opponent runebinds this inside of combat, the guidance would have gotten the resource into my hand, and it would have immediately replayed this, like losing my opponent most of the tempo they generated by runebinding it. You can see my opponent activating their champion power to put cards from their discard pile back into their deck. So if I would have sequenced a little bit better, this would be in play, and I would have a Valor in my hand right now, which means I could play this in Valor. This says whenever I play a Valor power-up, I draw a card. Ding. Hit a resource anyways. I'm a professional. I'm going to go ahead and attack with this Ardent Crusader, because this 2/7 is a free block for the Ardent Crusader. But if I play the Heart of Embers and then play a Valor, I can shoot this for the last 3 points of damage. This resource, in addition to giving me a threshold, it can also just straight up gain me 3 life. I'm going to go ahead and Valor this and shoot this. I mean, rotating out the existing promos seems fine. It makes the ones that have been given out more exclusive, right? More valuable. DJ Darkheart be worth some money long term if they rotate those out. Not everyone gets to 100. Oh, I need to put a sleeve and a battle board on here. This board is so boring. Clash of Steel is pretty good. I'm going to keep this Heart of Embers here, because when I play the second Heart of Embers out, I'm going to get 2 triggers off of this. I'm just like, fire. You want a cookie? Declan, you want a cookie? Oh, you want a Cliff Bar? Okay. Yeah, okay. I got a Cliff Bar for you. And if they don't have an interrupt here, this Heart of Embers is probably going to bury them. No, you're capped at 100 currently, which is annoying. Like, I just don't get account level rewards currently, because my account is maxed. So we'll point to 6 points of damage there. Kill your Dorko. Crack you for 4 with this Heart of Embers. Whoa, opponent got really punished for being greedy. And now they're actually going to be dead next turn to this Heart of Embers. So we're going to go ahead and attack them with this. And then this puts them to 5. And then when I play this heart next turn, I can just get like 2 Valor triggers and 6 their dome. Tar with the Intrepid Conjurer AAs. Let's claim those and throw those in the deck there. Thank you very much. That's very generous. Anytime you're hard pressed to lose games where your Heart of Embers goes unchecked. The card is very, very powerful. Select a sleeve here. It's a good Ardent sleeve. Get something animated on here. I like this one for my Ardent decks. Yeah, I like that one. Let's go ahead and select a battle board. Ardent, this screams castle battle board, right? Heading to war. Yeah, I think that's likely the case, Thoom. I think I will bet you whenever they rotate, and we don't know when they're rotating them, that they will likely... We're up against Yassi here, playing Haraza. Haraza is a 23 health champion that for 7 charges summons a Burning Banner, which is a constant that gives all their troops +1 power and speed as long as it remains in play. I think this hand is fine. It's like not super exciting. Like the double slow shard start is kind of medium. One of the really nice things about the Hex resource system that I like is that when we draw our first diamond threshold, we're going to be able to play out all of our 1 diamond threshold cards here. It looks like Yassi's just playing Ruby Diamond Sockets, which is the deck I top 8 the Bash with last weekend. Go ahead and play this Ashwood Firebrand, this Intrepid Conjurer. So, MC Etcher here is a 2/2 with Flight and Swift Strike that whenever it readies, they put a random customizable socketed card from their deck into their hand. So this card's going to generate card advantage for them every single turn here. That's kind of annoying. I think I'm going to play the Satyr's Roost Bard. I'm going to Valor this. The Satyr's Roost Bard says whenever I play a Valor, I draw a card. Perfect. We drew a resource here. This gives us our second Ruby threshold, so we actually have perfect thresholds yet again. Never not perfect thresholds. I think I actually want to save this Intrepid Conjurer because this says whenever you play an Ardent troop, you generate a Valor. So if I wait to play this till after I play this, I'll get a Valor out of it. Sorry, hold on. I'm responding to a rant. Sorry, I need to respond to a rant here real quick. All right. Anywho, all right. So we're gonna play Wartorn General, and now I'm gonna play this Satyr's Roost Bard because it generates a Valor. And now, geez, our Valors are just going completely insane here now, right? Because like I play this Valor on this, and I draw 2 cards, and I make a copy of my guy. Their guys have Swift Strike, so I'm not attacking it just yet. This Moonrise Elder creates a Valor for every Ardent troop I have in play. So we're going to play this. Hopefully we don't get beat down here. Oh, they don't have another Ruby threshold. So their champion power here requires double Ruby, which they don't currently have. Maybe I should have played this turn, honestly. Alright, and now I have too many Valors that I can't hold all of them. I'm going to go ahead and Valor this. I can't even hold all of these cards! Someone send help! Someone send help! Okay, I'm going to go ahead and Valor this guy. And then I'm going to attack with all my Valorous troops and Swift Strike down their board. I guess they could eat this guy. Maybe that was wrong. Maybe I was supposed to do this. Target that one. Valors to cards I can't hold, right? So if I attack with all of these, they get to eat one of my things for free, and then I push in a large amount of damage. I think this is worthwhile. So this guy gets to eat this one. I guess this could trade here, but then like I'm pushing damage through. This thing is going to make the rest of their troops larger. Max hand size is 7, so I'm going to have to bin 7 cards here. Touch unfortunate. I really don't need these Satyr's Roost Bards, right? So I'm going to bin... I'm actually just going to bin all these resources here. I actually kind of just want to keep the Valors, right? I'm going to keep this extra Intrepid Conjurer in case they kill this one. Okay, so that's really terrifying. They hit their second Ruby Source, so that means they can Burning Banner and all their troops are going to have speed now. But on the flip side of that, they also need to not die in the backswing with whatever they attack with here. Yeah, we do need to dig for a Heart of Embers. Heart of Embers will put this... We might not have enough time for Heart of Embers to take over this game, actually. If we hit Heart of Embers on this draw, we could probably take over the game with Heart of Embers. But if we don't hit it on our first draw, we're probably going to have a hard time. Ooh, we might just die here. Grimskull Tactician lets them exhaust one of my troops every time they have a socketed card come into play under their control. And Animus says whenever they play a socketed card, all of their cards get bigger. So we might just die here because of my attack. We don't need another Valor, Dowzo. And also worth referencing, I don't have double diamond. I couldn't have made a banner. I'm dead anyhow. I think the banner champion is pretty bad. In addition to the threshold requirement. Actually, someone had a really interesting idea. Klets, Andrew. The champion that for 6 charges gives you a Valor for every different race among troops you control might actually be really good in this deck, right? Like, we have Coyote, Elf, and Human pretty consistently. Like, on average, it's going to be 6 charges, make 2 Valors. I think I want these Nature Drains and these Vandalizes. Scion seems a little bit medium. Hero's hard to attack with. I only have 10, right? Yeah, so I can't cut everything. That's true, Burgle. Haraza with the Charges gem and the Moonrise Elder doesn't seem terrible. Like play 2 or 3 or 4 Moonrise Elder with the plus Charges gem and then play Haraza. I actually kind of like that. Howling Plains Alpha, just the random trim here. I think so. Yeah, I think you have a good point. I think that's a good idea, actually, Burgle. We'll try that after this. I'll put in a third Moonrise Elder, and we'll go to town. Our champion for 4 charges just creates a single Valor. None of the champions seem super compelling, and I didn't think about Haraza. I like Haraza a lot now that Burgle mentioned it. MTG bot doesn't do Hex champions, just Hex cards. So I'm still missing... I'm gonna Guidance to start here, see what we get. Might want a resource, try and get a green. Still no... Put a resource on top of my deck here. Again, just trying to find wild. Guidance of their own, yep. Ooh, my deck list is covering my life total a little bit. Health total. It's an Animus, yep. I need to get this Heart of Embers down so I can start mowing down their board. I hit this. Is this worth waiting on? No, I think I just want to put the Heart of Embers into play here. And the next turn, I could go Satyr's Roost Bard, double Valor. Yeah, that seems ideal. Start shooting all their crap. I guess I could triple Valor next turn and not play the Satyr's Roost Bard, but I kind of want to draw some cards, right? If they have a second, yeah, that's pretty bad for me. This thing deals double damage, right? Probably pretty dead. Why are we letting them do things, right? I think I'm just going wide here. Maybe I'm supposed to have played this. Yeah, I agree, Burgle. Their non-interactive deck is definitely a touch more linear than ours is. A little bit more powerful because of it. Attack with these two, I think. Because if we get to hit them, we get to generate a Valor. No, the hero power... Oh, the hero power is... I'm thinking of Hero of Legend. You're right. The hero power is different than Hero of Legend. This is any amount of damage. You are correct. You are correct, Tom. Tom is 110% correct. My champion is just deal any amount of damage. I thought it was deal combat damage. I need to change a diaper really quick. I'll be right back. Well, that's what we like to call a good draw in the biz. We're going to attack them with this. Is that even a great draw? It's like a fine draw, right? They get to do this. They get to do this. Get to do this. I get to do this and dome them for 6. Well, that's a tilt. Man, why did I have to give people the technology of playing good removal in their deck? Oh, now I'm dead, right? Yeah, because this is Gladiator, so it's +1 on their turn. I guess I could have tried to kill their things there, but I think that's wrong. Maybe I'm just supposed to, like, shoot, 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 and then I could chump block and not be dead there. Oh, we wanted to play Haraza, right? Like, get Lysander out of there. I mean, like... Haraza's also, like, a distractor on, like, what deck we're actually playing, too, which I kind of like. They, like, won't know exactly what deck we're playing right off the bat. I'm gonna put another Moonrise in here. I have to put this non-AA Moonrise Elder in here. Such a tilt. I mean, to be fair, Burgle, that deck didn't have quick interaction for a long time. Say, Burgle, your version. I put the good removal spell in your game. That is correct. Martyr's great. Waiting to queue, waiting to queue. Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. Hope everyone's having a good Thursday morning or afternoon or night, wherever you're at. We're playing one more match here before we wrap up some Hexy time for the day. Remember, I'll be back tomorrow morning with all Hex all morning. This hand has no diamond and mostly diamond cards, so pretty easy redraw here. This hand has no diamond and 2 non-diamond cards, so I guess we'll keep. Yep. Yeah, the new draft format is, it's literally draft. You keep the cards, etc., etc. How much gold do you need to put? I don't know what the conversion ratio is. It's usually the budget standard decks start somewhere in the 1,500 to 2,000 plat range. Tilt. I'm like, we have this guidance here for fixing, but we don't have diamonds, so we can't play it. Can't play that one either. I guess if this had been Gust Mage, we would have been able to play it and draw a card with the Valor it generated. Yep. Yep. Oh, Gust Mage is diamond. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is. I'm a liar. I'm a dirty, rotten liar. I don't know why I thought it was. Oh, my lord! There's diamond shards in our deck! Our life's like a diamond. Bum bum dum bum. Bum bum dum bum. Bum 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 bum. Deep freeze, sure. I have been deeply frozen. You got me. Try and draw a card off of this Valor too. If they have an interrupt, hopefully if they have an interrupt for this, they won't have a way to kill this as well. Yeah, if I just ship it here. If they have like Earthen's Glory, we're going to be a little bit sad. Flash Steel's a little annoying, but like not the end of the world. I'm going to go ahead and keep the Satyr's Roost Bard here since that can accrue some more card advantage for us. So this fight, even if we brick on a resource again, I guess we could Guidance technically. Let's just go ahead and Guidance for a shard here. We had a non-slow shard, we can go this into... Perfect, look at that. Perfect Threshold's now on turn 12. And go ahead and play this, and then get a Valor off of it, and then draw a card with that Valor. Into the Unknown, Satyr's Roost Bard, yep. I'm never casting that. Do I want to Valor this here? Now I'm going to hold this Valor, because next turn I can go Scion of Lyvaanth, play this Valor, and Scion says whenever you play a card, you illuminate one. Or play a non-resource, you illuminate one. So let's play the Scion here. And then I'll go ahead and Valor my Ashwood Firebrand. We're working our way up to this banner here too. So like once we hit that banner, our hand kind of like unlocks, right? And we just start slamming into them. Their sweepers get a lot worse. God, another clash. All right. Well, I mean, I'll keep the thing that's an army in a can, I suppose. Monographade, sure. Well, I could just play this Moonrise Elder, actually, right? Is that worthwhile? Yeah, I think giving all of my future things speed was worthwhile here. Especially now that they've, like, burned 2 Clash of Steels. Woven into nothing. Oh, no. Oh, no. My poor Moonrise Elder. He just wanted to attack you with speed. Yeah, that's a pretty good metric, honestly. Alright, well, hopefully these Heart of Embers can just steal this game for us. This first Heart of Embers is going to come into play and then dome my opponent for 3. And then the next Heart of Embers, if they don't answer the first one, will come into play and deal additional damage to my opponent. We're also only one... I'm also only one charge away from giving all of my troops speed now at this point. So, send this 3 upstairs. Resource out, crack them for 2, probably see a jump block here. The worst card for us at this point is Silver Talon Adjudicator. It's going to be one of those games where we beat a Psychic Ascension, maybe. The Adjudicator next turn, we're probably not beating the Ascension, but if they go like Shard, Adjudicator, and like draw 2 cards and gain 5 life, we're going to be pretty buried. Generating that probably means they don't have Adjudicator. They need to answer this or have an interrupt for this. They're just going to die. What's Cosmic again? Cosmic is the top rank in Hex. And the important thing to remember is that, like, the Hex ranking system is different from games like StarCraft and stuff like that. The Hex ladder largely exists to reward the players for playing the game. So even if your win rate isn't stellar, if you're winning 40 to 50% of your matches and you play enough, you'll be able to get to Cosmic every season. And going from the bottom ranking to Cosmic, you earn a bunch of free packs and rewards on there. It's only once you get within Cosmic that you start kind of getting ranked against other people that are similar skill levels. All right, well, I mean, on the off chance they have a bunch of nothing here, this comes down and pallers this and shoots them, and this attacks for 3. That also just gives all my things speed. It's kind of nice. No, he's actually just running Deep Freeze, I believe. Use a Scale Force to clear out this Lapidary. Activate my Burning Banner, attack them for 3. Another Deep Freeze, tilt. Generated a Heart's Whisper off their PA, tilt. Tilt! That's probably the end of it. Yeah, we stumbled. Stumbled for just a little bit too long this game. We didn't have our third resource till what, like turn 6, turn 7? Want a couple of Vandalizes just to kill Darkheart? That's probably fine. From a Scion in an Alpha. Is there a better gem than Swift Strike for these? Beatweed's probably better. I don't think Skyguard, Steadfast, or Gladiator's fine, right? Like Gladiator gives them an extra point of power to attack with. So, at a glance, this hand looks like it has all of our thresholds. Because this can make a ruby, and then this makes diamond wild, and this makes diamond wild. But if this makes a ruby, then these don't make thresholds. Just Just perfect expert deck building, really. My resource base. Oh, my resource base. 10's better. Feralroot Acorn, I get to go Diamond into Wild, Satyr's Bard, and this makes our first Ruby. We need a second Ruby at some point, but... Alright, sorry. I need to stay off the forums. They're not good for my sanity. Reading message boards reminds me that half the people that play TCGs are dumber than average, because that's how averages work. Half the people are above them and half the people are below them. Alright, thoughts on Kismet Draft? Kismet Draft seems great. Like, it's a cube-esque format that's also, like, going to, like, kind of instill the marketplace with cards that we know otherwise are, like, kind of creating a bit of scarcity. I'm glad that we're gonna see some more wells introduced into the ecosystem, especially if we're gonna get an influx of players when the PS4 client releases. So I think it's a great solution to solving multiple problems. It solves the problem of some card availability and cards prices kind of creeping up a little bit, while also addressing the problem of, like, we're 3 months into a limited format and we need kind of a change of pace. Yeah, it should be fun. I agree. I wasn't intending to play any limited until the next set released, and now I'm gonna play a bunch of limited when this new format drops. So, like, it's gonna do actually everything they wanted it to do. They don't have a dingle or a piece of removal here. This is pretty good for us. If they have a transmogrifade, sweet. They don't, it looks like. So this is gonna draw a card and bolt my opponent. Feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. Yeah, I agree. And I like the fact that you, like, only need you don't need to 3-0, you just need 3 wins. So, like, if you're kind of a mediocre drafter, you could just, like, 1, 2, 3 drafts and, like, still like, get the reward that you're looking for. Adjudicator gains them 5 life and draws them 2 cards because they had less life than me and less cards in hand. A little annoying, but not the end of the world. Hero of Legend is pretty good. Let's go ahead and throw him out there. And then play this. I don't have any removal spells to Guidance for, so I'm just going to hold on to this for now. I think there's plenty of people, and, like, it's kind of a unique draft format, right? So it's good. It's an experience, too. And, like, there's plenty of valuable cards to open in there too. Like, there's plenty of people that are just gonna, like, make value on opening packs, basically. Like cards like Transmogrifade and stuff in them. Deep freezing my Hero of Legend. Sure. Costs 8 now. Attack with this. Oh, you know what? Huh. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pass the turn here. If I hit a resource next turn, I could activate this and then swing with everything, so I'll have the speed banner. It's a little soft to Clash of Steel, though, which is not super appealing. Yep, there's a list of cards on the website. There's also a list of cards in the main Hex website. Smash here. I guess? Huh. Maybe... Oh, we're 10 out of 10 getting Clash of Steel here. I should have done this pre-combat. Get a Valor Generator, feel bad. Oh, God. Wow. So I just missed a ton of value here. I missed 5 points of damage. Yeah, basically I missed 5 points of damage because I should have done that pre-combat. I don't know. I just wasn't thinking. That's why I didn't do it. I'm gonna keep this banner. And then go Wartorn General, Intrepid Conjurer, and then just try and go super wide here. Because I'm dumb, Burgle. You'll get there. You'll catch up. Dark Heart, yep. Damn. Maybe I'm supposed to keep the Moonrise Elder because of Dark Heart? Oh, that's really good. So let's do this. And then let's do this. And then let's do this. And then let's do this. Man, remember that time I missed 5 points of damage? They're at fucking 5 life! They're at 5 life! I missed 5 points of damage and they're at 5 life! Oh no! Oh no! I should probably just have 4 of these in my deck, huh? We just put the 4th one in there with the charges gem on it. Alright. In the world where there is no justice, we won that game anyways. A couple of Vandalizes were good there. Killed the Dark Heart for us. Yep, let's submit. Maybe squeak out this next one. This is going to be my last match of the day. Remember, I'll be back again tomorrow morning with some Hex. If the new draft format goes up later today as projected, I might sneak back on tonight and draft a little bit. Yeah, it's a list of specific cards. They cut a lot of the bad cards out. In a world without justice, Jeff Hoagland is allowed to win TCG matches. Alright, so this can make Wild, this can make Diamond. Hopefully we find a human to make Ruby later. Yep, your draft tickets are usable for the draft format. Yay, look at that. Look at that. Found the human on 1, never didn't have it. Deck's perfect. I'm great, y'all are great. Hex is great. We'll go this for diamond, or this for wild, play this, and then we have ruby ruby here. As a software developer, Brad, don't you just read some of this shit on there and you're like, how is this even possible? Like, I can't comprehend like what on earth your code looks like to make the result of this bug that's happened possible. Man, I am really sad that we fate weaved a resource with that guidance now, because we've just drawn mono resources so far. They're just passing here. Alright, I think this pass means I just want to attack and then pass back. I don't think I want to play into a piece of disruption here. Although I guess if I play into a counter, then they can't deep freeze me. Would you play into a counter here? Who would play into a counter here? I feel like... Going back and forth, I feel like maybe I'm supposed to play into a counter. Because, like, I'm going to get tagged by the counter at some point, and this way if I get countered, I don't get deep frozen. Yeah, I'm going to go with that logic. We're getting Clash of Steel then. If they Clash of Steel us, that means we're only going to have at most 2 resources up next turn, which is also, like, reasonable for us, right? Like, we just, like, keep the Satyr's Roost Bard, we play this, generate some Valors, and then generate some card advantage. Dark Heart, that's also mostly fine, right? Like, not super exciting, but it's fine. I'm going to sack this. I'm going to play the Moonrise Elder out. Hopefully not get runebound. I'm going to Valor this, draw a card, tilt. Activate this, and then go ahead and smash with both of these. They want to eat this, that's fine. I guess eating this is bad for me if they have Clash, but if they have Clash, it's kind of bad for me either way. Water Fade, sure. Eat this, take 5, go to 10. They don't have Clash, they're actually going to be kind of up a creek without a paddle here. Even with my hand being pretty bad. Actually, the real answer is if they don't Clash me here, do I keep the Satyr's Roost Bard or the Burning Banner? I think I'm actually supposed to keep the Bard since I have 2 Valors in my hand. I think I'm supposed to keep the Bard because of stuff like that. Now we get to go wide here. Man, just mono resources. If this resolves, we're gonna Valor the Moonrise Elder, so it can attack through this Dark Heart. Binding this shirt. That's really dangerous. Like, that's super dangerous, right? Because, like, now, if I re-trigger this, I get a bunch of Valors. That seems really loose. Nothing, sure. I don't want to put a shard on top just yet. I want to put a shard on top when I can guarantee draw a card, I think. I don't want to ship all of these into here. Don't think I want to trade any of those just yet. I'll sacrifice the Firebrand next turn, I think. You get to draw 2 cards here, which is kind of scary. Maybe I'm supposed to just put a shard on top. Don't clash me, don't clash me, don't clash me. And they don't have an interrupt here. They're super dead. Okay. Alright, so they're just rune binding. What do I want to do here? Ozzy Burke with the brand new Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you very much. I appreciate that next level of support. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Did I just put this on here and then Fate Weave a resource to the top of my deck? And, like, recast this next turn? Yeah, I think that's the line. Like, they didn't have a weave for this turn, so they probably don't have one in hand. They didn't clash me last turn. They would have clashed me. We're not beating... You like Hero Alpha? That seems loose. I think that's loose. I think I'd rather try and recast this next turn. I guess I'm getting at least 4 points of damage that way. Probably 5. Maybe Alphaing is right there. Just, like, pressure them. We're only going to have 1 draw here. If they interrupt this again, we're going to... What is going on? What do they have? What are they holding up here? Just, why would you deep freeze that twice? Just, like, get me to use my resources? Seems really loose. I'm gonna Valor this just because... Pretty! Man, this deck is... Dowzo, this deck is way sweeter with Haraza. We are going to win the game where we drew half shards. I think I would cut this Howling Plains Alpha for another Moonrise Elder, because this card's just, like, kinda nutso. But, like, yeah, I think I'd do this. 10 out of 10, just want a second, 4th Moonrise Elder in here for Galvanism with Haraza. That deck seems like gas. I'm gonna make sure it's public on my next page, and I'm gonna go ahead and sign off for the afternoon, folks. Thank you everyone for hanging out. This was Dowzo's. The core of this deck was from Dowzo. They 5-2'd the last Hex Bash with this deck, so congrats to them. Thank you for the sweet deck to work on. Howling Plains is fine. I think Howling Plains is better than Gust Mage, but I don't know. I agree that Howling Plains, it's fine. I think it's better than Gust Mage. It makes Valors that is better than, to set the bar exceedingly low. Better. Howling Plains Alpha, he's better than Gust Mage. The Speed Banner is pretty good with Scion too, right? So, Iterate, again, thank you for watching. I had a lot of fun. We might play this deck again at some point, but we're going to have to be drafting a lot, so I don't know how much constructed we're going to get to in the next week or so. So we'll see. Probably a lot of drafting for the next couple of weeks. We'll still do some constructed, but new sweet draft format. Come to me.